Okay, look, I hear you. You want some sentiment data that's not just going to be nerdy and about somebody specific, but something that's going to get you really bowled up about Bitcoin and make you want to binge podcasts all week. I found something cool. I've been diving through data on lots of users, but I've been really interested in OGs because their mood deviates in interesting ways compared to the average Bitcoin user. What we're looking at here is two different lines. The colored one, the red and the green, is showing Bitcoin OG's optimism over time, the amount of optimistic things they're using in their language, when they have positive expectations and that sort of thing. In the gray line is the exact same levels of optimistic language, but for all of the Bitcoin community, not just OGs. And what made this really notable is that you'll see here there's certain times of deviation. So this is November 2021 around the top, and you'll note that the OGs actually were less optimistic here than the average. And again, right here, another low peak. They're less optimistic than the average. This was towards the end of the bull market where lots of new people had just flooded in. And these guys started to sense the change perhaps before anybody else. You'll see lots more of this negative deviation where the OGs are less bullish here right now, less bullish as we slowly step down to the bottom. But do you notice what changes here? We went from a large swath of red to starting to have a lot more green. Uh, when the average Bitcoiner remained really negative, the OGs that had actually been around for longer periods of time and went through this entire process before flipped really positive. So you'll start to see that here. There's a lot more green, and you start to see the largest deviation that I have on record right here in October 2023, when the OGs are massively more positive, like the rest of the Bitcoin community is as well. But there's a huge positive deviation here. Let's take this a little bit farther and keep looking into the future. And you'll see that even during the 2024 summer chop, there was a big peak. And the average Bitcoiner was really bullish. The average OG was like, yeah, we might have to bear this a little bit longer. Go a little bit farther along, and we finally start breaking out. Look again, the OGs are more optimistic at these inflection points historically. If we continue looking a little bit farther here, we'll see that trend continue. As soon as we convincingly move through the previous range top, the OGs are once again really optimistic, and they were proven right since we did end up finding higher highs. They've had quite a bit of deviation here, right? Though, like as soon as we actually get to the top, the OGs are more negative than the average Bitcoiner. The spread once again widens, just like it has almost every time in history that I've now looked at. But what do we have here? This is a rapid inversion. So where the OGs were once much more negative and the average Bitcoiner was once more optimistic in general, they've rapidly switched very recently. And it's still early in this trend reversal, but it is the OGs becoming optimistic very quickly, while the average Bitcoiner is becoming less optimistic. The takeaway here is that not all sentiment data is created equal. The opinion of the average Bitcoiner holds a little bit less weight than somebody who's been here longer. I think we've even proved that out through looking through some of this data. Like even my own opinion when I first came into the space held so much less weight because I'd spent less time in markets and less time in Bitcoin in particular. So when there's these big deviations in mood from Bitcoin OGs comparatively to the average Bitcoiner, I do think that's something really worth looking at closely and starting to take seriously as a potential inflection point.